Humility is often misunderstood as weakness in the business world, where boldness, self-promotion, and aggressive strategies are celebrated. However, the Bible teaches truth that our culture goes against. Humility is a source of great strength and blessing, not only in personal relationships but also in business. True success, according to Scripture, is not measured by wealth or status, but by a heart that honors God and serves others with humility. It shifts the focus from self to God and from personal gain to serving others. And that's exactly what we read in Philippians 2. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others. Do you think this fits a strong leader? Maybe not, according to your philosophy, but I'm going to show you how humility is much more powerful and beneficial than pride. Firstly, you and I know that making the right decisions in your business is absolute key. Proverbs 11 says, when pride comes, then comes shame. Pride, being the opposite of humility, produces shame and disgrace in your life and in your business. But now listen very carefully how this verse proceeds. But with humility comes wisdom. The benefit of humility is wisdom. Well, wisdom is your foundation of making the right decisions in your business. By the early 2000s, Ford had become proud and complacent. It was weighed down by too many car models, declining quality, and a culture that avoided admitting mistakes. In 2006, the company was losing billions and stood on the brink of collapse. Alan Mulally stepped in as a CEO that year. Instead of blaming competition or the economy, he showed humility by openly acknowledging Ford's failures. He encouraged leaders to admit problems and he modeled transparency until the culture began to shift. Mulally made several bold, humbling decisions. He sold off luxury brands like Jaguar and Land Rover, raised $23 billion by mortgaging nearly all of Ford's assets, including its iconic blue oval logo, and focused the company back on its core identity. Most notably, when GM and Chrysler accepted government bailouts in 2009, Ford refused. Mulally admitted Ford had made mistakes, but he wanted to rebuild on responsibility and credibility. By acting in humility, Mulally led three key changes. Firstly, return to the core mission, streamline operations and produce fewer but higher quality cars. Secondly, foster honesty and collaboration. Build a culture where leaders admitted changes instead of hiding them. Thirdly, financial discipline. Restructure the business and reduce debt even when it meant painful sacrifices. The results were dramatic. By 2010, Ford was the only major US automaker to avoid bankruptcy and had returned to profitability. The company's turnaround showed that humility, not pride, opened the way to wisdom and renewal. Secondly, in Proverbs 22, we read of another powerful benefit of humility. True humility and fear of the Lord lead to riches, honor, and long life. Wow! We count another three benefits, which are riches, honor, and a long life. Is that not what you desire? Of course, you need to keep in mind other laws too. If you eat junk food all your life long and you die early because of it, then you can be as humble as you want, you still live premature. In conclusion, the power of humility in business is both profound and transformative, offering immense rewards not only in your professional pursuits but also in personal growth. You yourselves know who would go further in the workplace, someone who is proud and can't be told, or someone who is teachable and not full of selfishness. It works the same for leaders as well as those under authority. Challenging questions would be, where in my life am I letting pride make my decisions instead of wisdom? When was the last time I admitted a mistake openly without excuses, and what would it look like to practice that kind of humility today? How can I shift my focus from my own success to serving others with a Christ-like heart?